largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL to entertainment and political props. Head to BetOnline today and get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. And big ups to the mighty Who Dat Nation. Big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. How y'all doing tonight, man? Sorry I'm a little late here, man. I had some tech issues I was kind of clearing up here. But big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being patient with me. We up in this thing, man. I wanted to start a little earlier into the broadcast, man, but pretty much a lot to talk about in this broadcast, man. So big ups to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Good to see y'all, man. I see you, fam. Appreciate you, Michael, man, for the super chat, man.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Judah, shout out to you. Good to see you, fam, in here as well. Much love, Black Major, Hemisphere, everybody. Good to see y'all in the building. Pelicans, Nola, Quavadius, let's see, Jermaine, Mr. Toxic. All right, big ups to you as well. Good. OG Jerry, Backwoods, Ty, good to see your fam as well. Much love. Bronze Flat Power God, John B, can you to you? Much love to all y'all, man. Argentine Dogo, brother Dave's in this thing as well. L Dub, good to see you. T Mama, shout out to you, Queen. Appreciate you as always. Pops TG, shout out to you as well. Cap Manny, what's up, Cap Manny, man? What's happening? Good to see you too, fam. Snakebite, I see you, fam. Appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody, man. Of course, and let's kind of delve into this, man, because we know this was something that happened yesterday. I covered it, talked about it on our Patreon special. But of course, the trade that ultimately led Marshon Lattimore out of this, the Saints are kicking into basically trying to acquire draft picks for the next year. A very unique strategy being that the Saints have not drafted well. So something has to change. Something has to change drastically. So, we talked about this yesterday, and it's definitely the right move to make. Obviously, the Saints wanted to try to trade Marshon Lattimore actually last year. That's why Mickey Loomis reworked his deal, because this brother was mad because of the BS that was going on under that crap that was happening under Dennis Allen. But instead of rectifying and chastising Dennis Allen, he elected to back Dennis Allen, which is why he is under fire right now. He is under fire. Like I talked about on Patreon yesterday, we brought up the article showing that Gail Benson went and talked to Mickey Loomis by his own damn words. And after he talked to Mickey Loomis, she didn't proceed after she talked to him, then proceeded to go and talk to the players. And when she talked to the players, they told her totally something different than what Loomis was the hell talking about. He was standing up here, and I'm going to play a piece of his article, his interview from yesterday, and react to it here, because this guy is crazy. This guy's out of his goddamn mind, and I think she sees it, and it's a big indicator because it's a breakage of trust there. She was over relying on him and was going to find out what was happening. This is points I want to make about this whole Mickey Loomis thing, because I've been hitting Mickey Loomis and I've been telling y'all about Mickey Loomis now going on for a couple of years now. I've exposed Mickey Loomis at many levels. I told y'all that he wasn't a real general manager, because no general manager that was serious about his job would allow his team to fall into a 7-game losing streak and not get up off his ass to go and find out what was going on with those players. Jan played James Hurst yesterday on Patreon. James Hurst said that it was rare that Mickey Loomis actually talked to the players. He don't talk to the players because he's not a goddamn general manager. I told y'all that. He's not a GM. He doesn't do nothing the general manager doing. Most of the contracts are being worked by the assistant general manager. They alluded to that, said that in some of the articles and pieces. He said it, and Kai confirmed that. So I've been hitting hard on Mickey Loomis. I've been slamming Mickey Loomis. I've hit Mickey Loomis as hard as I can hit him. I'm gonna continue to hit him until that general manager job is out of his damn hands. He's beyond negligent. He's not a real general manager. That's why he gets fleeced constantly by other general managers. When Howie Roseman would trade, when we would fleece him because he's not a real general manager. He's more VB than he is general manager. I told y'all that. A lot of the moves that was made by Sean Payton, he could not even, as soon as Sean Payton and Drew Brees left, he couldn't put together a solid plan to transition from one area to the next. His philosophy was stupid, it was terrible, and it was back ass. He destroyed the team with this cap situation, and he should not be allowed to keep the general manager position. Everything the Saints are going through right now is his fault. If we all know Dennis Allen was over his head. We seen it when he lost the second game straight. We seen it in the third game. We seen it last year when he should have got fired. That's what James Hurst was alluding to. We said this all last year when it was going on, like we were standing in the locker room. And how did you know that? Because you can look at people and you can read them. When Dennis Allen stood on his ass, and I told y'all, he never apologized to none of you people. Not me, you, nobody. But he got the balls to sit up here and apologize to the Falcons and throw his own team under the bus. James Hurst said he thought they was going to fire him and let him go. But this dumb, stupid Mickey Loomis gives him a vote of confidence, and still to this day sitting up here talking about he's a great coach. This guy is a moron, man. I told y'all that this guy's a flipping moron. He's a moron. He's a chump, a mark, an idiot, a simpleton. He doesn't know what he's doing. I've been telling y'all that. All this bravado and all of this big chest energy that he's throwing out is a front to make it appear like he's running something, and he don't even have a plan. And now his boy Dennis Allen, Dennis Allen had to go through a 7-game losing streak and lose to the worst team in the NFL before he canned him. Now it's Gail Benson. All of this had to happen. And now Gail Benson sees that his guidance and his leadership over this team is very flawed. So expect changes. I'm telling y'all that right now. Expect changes. He can't govern. He can't guide this team nowhere because he doesn't have the vision. He doesn't have the IQ to do it. The game is beyond him. This is big bravado, big chest energy. And this is a front. The guy doesn't know what he's doing, and he needs to be ripped down out of the general manager position. I don't give a damn about the VP job, but all of that needs to be reformatted. We following way behind on the rest of these other teams. And now we trading Lattimore for draft picks that the Saints don't even know how to use. So I'm pissed off about it because I've been saying it for a long time. And we've been vindicated with this bullshit with Dennis Allen running around here, sashaying around, and this idiot, chump, moron, simpleton, mark-ass Mickey Loomis standing up here. Oh, he's a great coach. Bill Belichick, 8-8, 7-7, 12-8. Bill Walsh, 7-8, 7-8, 12-8. All Hall of Fame coaches. I heard all this stuff. And all this idiot moron chewing gum like a billy goat standing up there. And I blasted him for that. I've hit Mickey Loomis harder than any damn body, and I'm going to continue to do it. Even to the point where you got reporters starting to do it. And this is the type of energy that you got to do. You got to show these people off, man. You got them 8-9, 97, 7-10. This idiot. Listen to this reporter right here. Listen to what he's saying and tell me who he sound like to you. Here we go.
Richie, the main question to ask before getting to anybody who spoke is if Dennis Allen had done enough during his time here in the black and gold to maintain his job, or if the injuries have been enough of a scapegoat to allow DA to stay in the black and gold. Now, until this past Sunday, the answer has been yes. However, a loss to the worst team in the entire NFL, the Carolina Panthers, ultimately dooms DA becoming the final nail in the coffin for his time here in New Orleans. Now, look, Dennis Allen has tried over the last 7 games to lead this team to a win, a team without its top offensive linemen and now its top 2 pass catchers. Nonetheless, though, Dennis Allen has come up short 7 straight times. And although the players do not like it, 2 New Orleans natives, one from St. Aug and one from Jesuit, understand why the Saints have fired their head coach.
As a kid growing up, right, you get through the whole week, and then we was always looking forward to Sunday because we knew the Saints was playing, and we knew we could go get some food. Like somebody in the neighborhood was watching the game. I can absolutely feel, their frustration. They work hard to be a part of it, to buy tickets and to buy jerseys, and we look forward to the Saints brightening our week. We look forward to LSU, brightening our week, and we totally, just dropped the ball.
If you come into work and you find joy in your head coach getting fired, shame on you. I can't say the same for a fan. I know we have a bit of a split fan base in that regard. I understand that.
Ain't no split, man. There ain't no split fan base or support base about Dennis Allen getting fired. That's what's supposed to happen if you don't win and you got 3 years to do it and you don't win. Ain't no split there. It's unanimous.
In the end, results weren't there. And so something had to be done. We're going a different direction, obviously. And I understand that. And then if I was in that role, I would expect the same thing.
And the end result now, though, is that after the 7-game losing streak, Dennis Allen is now 7 games under 500, 18-25, as you've said, Richie, during his 2-year tenure here in New Orleans.
Jared, are you a little surprised we didn't hear from general manager Mickey Loomis or owner Gail Benson? I know they released a couple of statements earlier today, but it felt like if anyone was going to address this issue, it had to be one of them.
Oh, most definitely. And you have taken the words right out of my mouth about surprise. But another word I must add is a bit of cowardice, not on Gail Benson, but on Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis stood up here in the Saints facility just earlier in the year following the Saints season in 2023, talking about how Dennis Allen is the right man for the job while chewing his gum in the entire press conference for a cough. He ain't lying. One time, by the way, during the pressure. So I don't know what was in that piece of gum, but it did him very well. Nonetheless, though, this man stood in front of the media comparing Dennis Allen to Bill Belichick and some of the other greatest coaches of all time in the history of the National Football League. Obviously, you zoom past it now, he is no longer the head coach. You have to stand in front of the media and answer for what you have had to do due to his inability to get this team wins. And that is the biggest so far today, is that we did not hear from Mickey Loomis.
Now, listen, man, let me tell you something, fam. Let me say this. I've not heard one report, and shout out to this brother. I don't know his name. But shout out to that brother, man. To that reporter. He called Mickey Loomis a coward. He said what he was doing was cowardly. And that's an aggressive language for a news reporter. And I appreciate him doing that. Because I don't understand how much you're going to take, because Mickey Loomis berates those reporters. I wouldn't have taken it. What he said, people go ahead, you get that press badge. What? So I can go up there and jump on them, try and make them touch everything on every item in the place. Then y'all gonna have to come out there to they go and come bail me out, because he berates them. Oh, that's lazy and unsophisticated. Oh, that's you're not qualified. Yeah, he's smug, and I don't understand how the hell are you so smug. You ain't do shit. That Super Bowl was well over a decade ago, boy, but they got the little sign out front of the facility. They've been living high and drive off that one goddamn Super Bowl. And it's enough of that. But I'm happy for the reporters are finally touching on that, man, because this has to stop at some point. We're not taking this no more, man. The whole paradigm has shifted, man. And I've been pushing for this for a very long time. And I'm happy that I see a lot of these guys, a lot of people getting on that same energy, because that's what's necessary. That's will be needed, an aggressive front to remove these charlatans, these morons, these chumps out of the way with all this fronting. Enough of the fronting. We're not fronting. We're not playing no games with y'all no more, man. Either you do what you got to do right now. I'm not buying the pill for no all this kind of stuff with Mickey Loomis, because Mickey Loomis don't have no plan. He don't have no vision. They didn't have nothing. Where was Mickey Loomis at when Dennis Allen was losing all those games? Where was Mickey Loomis at? He was in his goddamn office with the door closed. Where was the general manager at to bring an end to all of this? Where was that fool at when Dennis Allen running the team into the ground? Where was he at? It took Gail Benson to come out and say, you know what? That's enough is enough. You on the street. Thank you for your participation. And then, put the statement out, and here he comes, right? Oh, hold on now. Dennis Allen's a great coach. Oh, he did a great job. Oh, he had all these injuries. Oh, look at this idiot. Chump. Fool. Crazy dude, man. Out of his mind. Anyway, let's move on, man. Let's hit these injury report here. That dude, crazy, man. Saints wins the injury report, man, to talk about, man. And this is as we get ready to get at the Atlanta Falcons. Remember, there's also a game that need to be played coming up here. So all of this talk about changes and all that, we're going to look at everything, man. Listen, grain of salt over here, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't have enough time to look at everything. You got to get this team ready for a game. This is not a bye week. The Saints are running behind the curve with a 7-game losing streak. They're 2-7. Atlanta Falcons are sitting on top of the NFC South, and you couldn't pick a worse team to be trying to do all this with. But if you'd have moved sooner, perhaps. But now they're in a pinch. Let's take a look at who's available. Cedric Wilson Jr., shoulder, DNP. Kool-Aid McKinstry, hamstring, DNP. Chris Olave with the concussion. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Lucas Patrick with another ankle. He had an ankle issue. Another injury with Lucas Patrick. He's down. JT Gray's limited with back, so it's Rico Payton limited with the same issue. Jamal Williams, the running back, groin. He was limited. John Ridgeway, the big defensive end, had an oblique issue. He was limited. Will Harris, who is our safety, was on IR. He had some hamstring issues. He was limited. Derek Carr had some type of illness. He fully practiced. Elvin Kamara had a hand, fully practiced. Shane Lemieux and Nephi Sewell fully practiced. So we probably will see some of those guys back on active roster. Nephi Sewell and Shane Lemieux at some point, maybe even Will Harris, the safety, to kind of bring him back to the secondary with all those injuries mounting. On the Atlanta side of things, at linebacker J.D. Bertrand had a concussion. He's DNP'd. Matthew Judon he was DNP'd with an illness. Defensive lineman Grady Jarrett has an Achilles. He was limited. Chris Ligstrom, one of their guards, was limited. Wide receiver Drake London was limited with a hip issue. So is Kyle Pitts with a hamstring. James Smith-Williams, the defensive lineman, is limited, and then inside linebacker Troy Anderson, who played a hell of a game against the Saints last time. He has a knee issue, but fully practiced. And Drew Dahlman, the center, had an ankle issue, but he was there. So anyway, the Falcons are looking at the Saints and saying, hey, man, we can get ready to push these guys clean up out of here. If we beat these guys in this one, we sweep them on up out of here. And that's what they're looking to do. That'll be the first time we've seen that happen in a very long time. But anyway, let's move on to this. Let's get hear from Rizzi. I'm going to listen to Darren Rizzi for a little bit and see what he got to say about what he think that this team could do in terms of helping the black and gold. Here we go.
Guys, how's everybody doing? I am hanging in there, one day at a time.
Look, if you don't mind, start with that. Like, how has this adjustment been for a couple of days? What's been different about it than you anticipated?
Yeah, it's been one of those 2 days. Seems like 2 weeks, a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Just a lot going on. I mean, obviously, when you have a change in position, right? There's things that you got to change in your daily schedule. Listen, coaches are routine guys now, and I'm guilty. Guilty as charged in being a routine guy, and so my personal routine's had to change up. And so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do things. I thought it was really important to try to communicate with just about everybody in the building, most importantly the players, and then obviously the coaches and the staff, and just making sure everybody's on the same page. We made some changes on the daily schedule. We made some changes on the practice schedule. And so, you just got to make sure that we've been doing things around here the same way, or at least similar, for a long time. And I thought it was important to maybe just get a little change of pace. And so we have a lot of people in the building that have been here for a while and been doing that. And so just been doing a lot of that, a lot of schedule stuff, obviously dealing with our personnel. And then at the end of the day, we got a game plan. And so just trying to make sure that we have enough time for all that. So, but listen, I'm like I said the other day, certainly up for the challenge, and we'll be there Sunday.
Why was it changing up the locker room layout important?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been involved in both. I just felt like, we had guys spread out all over the place. And here I am trying to preach, bonding together, circling the wagons. And here, we got guys kind of spread out. So I just thought it was a good little change of pace to break it up by position. Very, very well received. There's some guys who've been in their locker for quite a long time, so that got a little uncomfortable. But listen, we got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and so that's where we're at. We're in an uncomfortable position, and so I thought it was really good. Like I said, really well received. The guys really loved it, being kind of with their position groups. The O line comes out of a meeting, and then they can go into the locker room, and they're all there together. They're not spread out all over the place, and they can communicate and talk about what they just installed. And that's just an example. It's just one example of many. And so just thought it was a good change of pace.
You mentioned some things that you were looking at changing evaluating. Were there any changes that you made with the coaching staff?
I made just a couple of moving parts. I think I mentioned we hired Marwan Malouf as a special teams assistant coach. Marwan and I have a long history. He knows our system. He was my assistant in Miami for 6 years. He's been a special teams coordinator in the NFL for 2 different teams. He's been a special teams coordinator at a couple Power 5 schools. So great amount of experience. Just happened to be one of those years, ironically enough, where I was able to get him. And so that was a great addition. And then defensively, obviously with Dennis being the play caller, we kind of had to change guys around there a little bit. So moved guys around there just a little bit, shook up the defensive staff. Just what I thought would be a good deal. Joe's obviously calling the defense. Todd Grantham is a guy that has had a lot of experience. I took Todd out of the defensive line room. He's going to kind of be an advisor, a senior assistant to Joe. Brian Young's going to run the defensive line room. And so just kind of, nothing crazy, nothing dramatic, but I felt like, that would be, Todd would be a good sounding board for Joe. The 2 guys that have the most experience on the defensive side of the ball. And obviously BY's been around here. And knows our defensive line room very, very well. And so that was an easy transition for him. He's been in that room for a long, long time. And so, Mike Hodges and BY are going to kind of put the defensive run game plan together. Joe and M-Rob are going to kind of do the defensive game plan or passing game, together. So, offensively, we stayed status quo, but just a little bit of wrinkle on special teams and defense.
Am I right? Go ahead. Were there any even small changes that maybe were more symbolic? It looked to me like the practice was opposite ends, opposite.
We were.
Yeah.
We were on opposite ends. The offense usually was on the far end, and the defense was on the weight room side. So we flipped ends. So just a little cosmetic change that, again, want things to feel a little bit different. I think the offense has been on the far end since Bobby Hebert was playing quarterback here. So we just switched it up a little bit. And I tricked some guys today. I had no idea it was coming. And all of a sudden we had the individual group set up. So I was joking around with that. But again, just a different feel, different vibe. Here we are in the second half of the year. We had a little major change at the top, and just want to feel a little different for everybody, and want to keep everybody kind of on their toes and antenna up. And that was the thought process behind it. And with a lot of the things we're doing,
All right, so we've seen a change on defense, and that's quite a thing. He talked about offense status quo. There's a lot to be said about a lot going on with the Saints, offensively and defensively. Last week, offensively, they were able to move the ball. Running the ball wise, wide receiver wise, a lot of Chris Olave obviously gets knocked out. We need other guys to step up from the wide receiver position so we can get downfield. The running attack was actually pretty decent using Elvin Kamara. He was able to gain a ton of yards. He was excellent in the loss. But we have to have more of a balanced attack. We're going to have to get the ball down the field. So however the Saints are going to get Scantling involved, he has to step up. Mason Tipton and these other guys, Cedric Wilson Jr. right now is DMP'd again. And we heard some minuscule movements or transactions that the Saints have that really don't, that the Kyle Hergel thing, and then them putting Nico Lalos in the street or some crap like that. Nothing really big to the point where you would anticipate them bringing in a wide receiver or something, and that's probably some moves they'll bring in a guy off the practice squad to happen. But at some point, the Saints are going to have to figure out a way to get the ball downfield. They got Scantling here. They got to get Scantling involved in the offense. I mean, he's new here, but he's still a veteran. We got to get him involved. Mason Tipton and all these guys, they're going to have to help with the passing game to get downfield. Running game did a pretty decent job last game, and the game before that they were actually running the ball. But man, like I said, Derek Carr is going to have to step his game up. He's going to have to step up. We watched the all-22 tape, the 3 first series that he was out there. It wasn't only the rust because he was rusty, but it's also he got stuck in his old habits when he's staring down people. It happened, and the guy, man, I don't understand how you make $150 million, but you be staring people down. You get frozen on one side of the field, and it's clear. Like, their guy's open. It was the play where he was going to Foster Moreau. Jawan Johnson was open on the opposite side of the field. He didn't even see him because he didn't fan through his progressions. That ain't something that you're supposed to be telling an 11-year veteran. Hey, bro, don't get stuck on the side of the field. Look at all of your options. Don't just hike the ball and look and stare somebody down. Look everywhere. You make $150 million. You're an 11-year veteran. Look everywhere before you throw the damn ball. Jeez Louise, man. Anyway, we have to figure out a way to get down the field, man. It's just frustrating watching the tape because these people watching the same tape. This stuff is not hard, man. It's just frustrating. How these people making this kind of money and we get caught on the simplest fundamental things. Man, goodness, it's like, what, week 10 already? What week are we in? Week 10 and we still staring shit down? I mean, come on, man. It's just frustrating. And speaking of which, let's go to him. Let's hear from him. Let's see what he got to say.
We were told you were outside.
Really?
Yeah. Oh.
I was outside the door. I was like, dang, Riz, golly. This man soaking it up? No, I'm just kidding.
29 minutes. We did have a lot of questions.
I'm assuming you did. Yeah.
I mean, the way he communicates,
Yeah.
how helpful is that for a team? Because it just seems like the messaging is very clear and when there's something behind it. Is that?
It is very clear. You know exactly where you stand with him. Every player on this team has a relationship with him. You know, I would assume just the way he is with everybody, and he's him and I have always had a great relationship. You know, since I've been here, we've had some great times together. We've battled through some things and worked through some things together, and I've just enjoyed being around him. You know, I enjoy learning from him. He's a really smart coach, but he's very detailed. But everyone in our building knows exactly where they stand with him. And if you don't, you ask him, he'll tell you straight to your face.
Derek, how have you handled, I guess, since Monday?
Yeah.
Now, how have you handled the whole situation?
I would hate to say that I have a lot of experience at that, you know, but I do. I've been in a lot of those situations, and I mean, you hear the rumblings before I even came here.
Yeah, bro. I mean, the man got fired, man, both times with you as the quarterback. I don't know if you see too many times when that happens where the guy drafts you, the team sucks, he gets fired in his third year, he brings you here, pays you a boatload of cash, and then the same thing, get fired in the third year. That's got to be a weird situation. I doubt there's too many things that you see that happen with,
you know. But I just love this city. I love this team, and I love DA, you know, and we never thought they would get to that, you know, but when it happens, DA sent us a text to the captains and was able to send him a message back. And he knows that, you know, we're in in-season mode. And so there'll be a time where, you know, we could have a conversation and, you know, spend some time together. But he just wants us to win. You know, he that's all he wants for us. And that was his message. You know, he loved us, and everyone to a man, all of us captains, we're like, man, we wish we could have won more for you. We wish we could have all been healthy, like at the right times and all those kind of things. Like, sorry, you know, like it's sad. It sucks. But one thing in this business, and, you know, and he knows this, like, it's not that we don't love him and we don't care. We just you have to move on to the next day, because this business never stops.
Is it harder though, knowing that this is the second time you and DA specifically have been through this situation?
Right.
This time, does that make it?
This one was harder. The first time was like 3 games into my rookie year, And I was like, dang, this is the NFL. Like, goodness gracious. And so, well, at least that's been my experience. I've been in some tough situations, and at the end of the day, you just try and put your best foot forward and win football games. And, for this time, it was different because it's just years of knowing somebody, and then you want to come in and you want to help them out. And, and we started fast, and I was like, all right, cool. And then we hit that lull, and then all that, whatever happened, and then he gets fired, and it's like, dang, like, I almost felt like this time was quick too, but I understand how the NFL is. I understand how it works. And so it's a sad time because at the end of the day, we're all human. Like, he has a family, he has kids, and a wife, that we all have emotions and all these kind of things. And so we are human, but at the end of the day, he's very blessed. He's a blessed man. And I know he's going to be just fine because he's a really good football coach.
I think I can say this much, man, about it. It's the NFL, man. That's why people get paid a lot of money. It's a result-driven business. If you don't win, you're going to get fired. Bottom line, Dennis Allen, New Orleans Saints, anybody, Cleveland, whatever team you talk about, it's competitive. In most sport leagues, it's the same way. Why? Because the supporters of the sports leagues don't tolerate or suffer fools lightly. We don't suffer and tolerate losers lightly. We don't like that. We understand you're going to lose, but we expect you to play hard, give a full and hearty effort. And we can live with that, but not this. We can't live with this. We won't live with this. And I think the Dennis Allen thing is Dennis Allen wasn't the play. He was never supposed to be there. We said it from a long time. Like, the man simply didn't have the qualifications to be a head coach. He really didn't. And to be honest, Mickey Loomis was trying to hold on to. If Mickey Loomis had his way, he would have had him here, and all the way through the 7-game loss, because he still was spinning the excuse because of hey, listen, bro, I don't care about the injuries. Let's keep it all the way there. I don't care about the injuries. I really don't. That's what a general manager is supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be in there keeping the temperature of the team. He's supposed to be around those guys, finding out what they would do. A well-intentioned, intelligent, and thorough general manager would have found players, would have gotten out players that's just collecting checks. And the Saints have a bunch of players on this team just collecting checks. Guys that can't play, can't block, can't do what they're supposed to do. Why are these guys still here? And that's why if you lost 7 games in a row, you have big problems and issues. And it starts with a lot of these coaches and these players. It ain't hard. It ain't too far to look to find out what the problem is. We got guys here that's just collecting checks, guys that can't play, that should have been put on the street weeks ago. I was saying it for weeks now. How is Ali Udo still here? Why is Cedric Wilson still here? Where are the rest of the guys that we could pilfer from practice squads and light signings that could at least help out the team? It's a constant game of give and go. You have to constantly be adjusting. That's how you're supposed to do it. You're not at any stake supposed to use injuries as an excuse. And the Saints, even though the Saints had gained a bunch of the starters back and still was losing, they gained starters back last game and the game before that and still losing. Oh, it's all about the injuries. See, we had this injury, we had that injury, and that injury over there. And don't forget this injury over here. What? You gained starters back. You got a bunch of starters back 2 weeks ago. You got starters back this week, and you still were losing. What are we talking about here? What is it talking about? These people, that's what I was saying about accountability. Hey, bro, don't talk to me about no injuries, because we're not the only ones dealing with the injuries. Everybody's dealing with injuries. People's wide receivers are hurt right now. Running backs are hurt, cornerbacks, defensive end, and you see people trading all over the place. You think that's letting teams that really want to win stop? They got a team that's undefeated right now, made several trades to keep them on top of shit. What the Saints doing? Mickey Loomis sit up here making excuses. Winners don't make excuses, bro. Only losers. And the Saints is the biggest losers I know right now. 7 straight worth of them. They even calling them, so we're tired of losing, but let Dennis Allen up in the players only meet. They can't even do a players only meeting right. And then let the effing guy cater it. I'm like, man, y'all not serious about winning, man. If you holding the players only meeting, that means that whatever the coach is saying, he done lost the team. And according to what James Hurst was saying, that happened last year when it was breakages in team. But never let Mickey tell you Mickey was lying, and so was Dennis Allen lying all that time, saying, "Oh, there's no breakage. The locker room is strong. There is no problem at all. Everybody's good. We're all good. We're all one big happy family. Oh, you guys, I'm gonna tell you, you goddamn media guys, you're gonna know what you're talking about over here. We're the New Orleans Saints. We're good. And then next thing you know, everything falling through the floor. You think that just happened when the Saints lost the 7 game? Those cracks were there already, and these people were lying about it. That's what Lattimore was last year. Alvin Kamara was last year. Talking about, even Cam was talking about it last year. But I can tell you who wasn't talking about it. When 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 game losing streaks was hitting, you ain't hear a mumbling word from Demario Davis or Tyrann Mathieu. You ain't hear nothing from them dudes. These supposed to be team leaders that's supposed to be winners. But the team falling through the floor, you ain't hear a mumbling word from none of them dudes. But yeah, I heard it from Laddie Daddy. I heard it from Michael Thomas. I heard it from Alvin Kamara. I heard it even from Cam Jordan, but not a mumbling word from Demario Davis or Tyrann Mathieu. These supposed to be captains and team leaders. What team leader don't open his mouth and fight for his team, and they falling through the floor with 7 straight losses? They take them 7 straight losses before they open up their goddamn mouths about a players only meeting that I was talking about 2 years ago. And we finally get one after 7 straight losses. That should have been something that they implemented after 2 losses, Playboy. We winners over here. So like I said, man, they talk a mean game. A lot of it's political, but I'm just not the one to play with when it comes down to that. Because I hear it all the time from these same weak leaders. That's why they broadcast the Saints leadership crisis. It's a crisis of leadership. A leader ain't a guy that make a lot of money and stand before you and tell you he the quarterback of the team, but don't take accountability for his actions. Don't want to take the bows and arrows, but would take the effing money and run. Or a coach who don't apologize for his losses, even though as terrible and egregious as they are, but would apologize to your hated rival. Throw his team under the bus several times, including a recent time when he threw his team under the bus when they asked him about, why did you call a timeout before halftime? I had nothing to do with that. You can't even take that. But this idiot at the top of the team, not Gail, sweetheart, but Slick Mickey Loomis. And to Gail's credit, Slick Mickey Loomis was the guy that's screaming, "Oh, hold on now. I'm going to tell you about that thing. Oh, hold on now. I know everything about it. I'm Slick Mickey. Oh, hey, yeah, hold on now. I'll tell you something, guy. I know that I got the plan. Didn't have a plan when Drew left. Let Drew play all the way up until he's 40 years old. Drew can't even throw the ball. And they sitting up there saying, we're going to wait for Mickey for Drew Brees to come back. And Tom Brady's sitting there like, really? I'm Tom Brady over here. Drew's great, but I'm going to take his records, right? I'm going to outplay him. And he did take his records, and he did win another championship. But he waited there, and the Saints did that. Even when they had a chance to get Lamar Jackson, couldn't do that. Remember the Saints' failed attempt to acquire Deshaun Watson? And Deshaun Watson was playing games with them, using them as leverage to get people to Atlanta so they can build a super team. And then before Cleveland stepped in with the deal and say, hey, bro, we'll give you all this. Oh, I'm going to Cleveland. That worked out real splendid, didn't it? So what I'm saying is the leadership is there's no leadership here. There's no leadership. Anytime a man who's supposed to be a high football IQ sees a coach, calls him and makes him the coach, and then the coach fails and you don't see the egregious flaws there, the guy's crazy, man. This man's, he don't know what he's doing. So anyway, let's listen to this, man. This will be the last thing I do before we get ready to roll. Cause like I said, I wanted to plan out a longer show, but unfortunately I had some tech issues. I'm a little peeved about this whole situation, even though Dennis Allen is gone. And I am happy that he's gone, but I feel that it took way too long to get here. And we were saying it the whole time. So it's like, man, we should be happy that we vindicated, but at the same time, it's that and the fact that's like so much time has been wasted. We've wasted a lot of time playing around with these simpletons, these chumps, and these morons about basic football IQ stuff. that we talk about all the time in fundamental stuff. Coaches not looking at players frozen on one side of the field, looking guys not blocking on tape, not knowing who they're supposed to block, guys that can't play but still on the team. I mean, active roster spots. I ain't talking about no practice squad players, veterans and team leaders who don't open their damn mouths until you in a 7-game losing streak, and now it's time to sound the alarm. I was sounding the alarm 3-4 weeks ago, saying, "Wake up, or we're going to make it through this." Just outright total delusional. But in the end, man, the Who Dat Nation, the Great Saint Think Tank, represent to the fullest. We represent to the fullest because we know what we're talking about, man. That's why we stand the test of time, even when these morons that's running the team don't know what they're doing. And speaking of morons, here's one here.
Along with Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. And there aren't many times that I would begin this show by not talking about the Dennis Allen situation yesterday, but Marshon Lattimore, the trade deadline came and went today, traded Lattimore to Washington, the 4-time Pro Bowler, been hampered by the hamstring injury. And I would imagine your phone has been ringing, not just today, but really for the last several months for Marshon, correct?
Well, I think really it's just been the last, week, when there was some speculation about him being traded, given our record. That's going to spur calls, and we had a number of them over the last 4 or 5 days.
So, and this would be a Kai question, but roughly speaking, there's 2 years left on his contract, I believe, 16 and 16 from a cap savings for the Saints for you guys, roughly like $18 million next year and the following year.
Yeah, I mean, it gets complicated because there's, acceleration from bonuses that were amortized and some things like that. But yeah, I mean, listen, we don't, it's you said it right. It's 18 million over the next 2 years, each year, that we'll be able to, use elsewhere. But let me just say this. Marshon has been a fantastic player for us.
Let me do this right here before I let him finish babbling. Let me go here and take you here. This is 2025 estimates according to Over the Cap. And I have to just say this because it's not just the fact that he's choosing poorly with bad coaches and bad decisions, bad hires, and refused to admit to those hires, but it's also the fact that he's funking up the cap with bad decision making with the money. We're currently $61+ million over the cap, and this money will continue to increase into the red depending on how much the cap is over time. Now they're talking about the savings, potential savings that you see dealing with whatever traded players or whatnot, but it's a lot of dead money stuff that's on the Saints that will impair them to be competitive in terms of going into free agency next year, or even to retain its 1-year players or players that they like. Perhaps they want a Paulson, a Debo type. They would have to then restructure contracts to free open. They're gonna have to restructure down, fam. Let's say if whatever the salary cap for the NFL is $25 or $30 million, you're still roughly over 30-something odd million dollars over the cap when it's all said and done. That's an astronomical money. You would have to work contracts back, and then that would in turn then kick that money into 2026, which is at 52 right now. So that'll drop that 52 number down even more so, because they have to get all the way down from the red, that's what you see on screen right here, to even be functional enough to add free agents, to sign their own free agents, to add free agents off free agency lists, and also sign draft picks. This is what I'm talking about. It's this year, this next year, and 2026. You won't see no relief until way after that. Because whatever you do this year affects next year, and whatever you do next year affects 2026, the year after. So he said it was a 2-year thing. It's not more. It's going to be more like 3 years when you have all of these players gone. And then you'll have basically a new team. The window, that's what we talk about windows. The window for the Saints rebuilding is within a 2-year span of time. That's because of the contracts are set up that way. A lot of expiring veteran contracts, DeMario Davis, Taysom Hill, Cam Jordan, Tyrann Mathieu, Foster Moreau, contracts like that, they fall off the books. You also got to, when is it? When you'll be having a contract coming up soon for Chris Olave. And Chris Olave going to be looking for a payday. So he's coming up soon. So there's a lot of players that the Saints have that they'll have to rework this money. They'll have to rework that 61 down. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes, man. This is all a side effect of Mickey Loomis's plan, or lack thereof. Here we
but he still is, I believe, one of the better corners in our league. And he's a defensive rookie of the year. The year that we drafted him, 17, and made the Pro Bowl a number of times. He's a fantastic player. He's a good teammate. I got nothing but good things to say about Marshon. Unfortunately, the last couple of years, he's had some soft tissue injuries to deal with and a couple other injuries to deal with, but he still is, I believe, one of the better corners in our league, and Washington's getting a good player for their playoff push here and their run.
That wasn't obviously the case last year when they restructured Marshon Lattimore's contract to trade him, because Marshon Lattimore was kicking up dust in the locker room, upset about the culture, the losing, and everything was going on. And Mickey Loomis was one of the people that was upset that he was doing that. So that goes to show you that if the players are upset, they couldn't even go and talk to this guy. This guy had his door closed. He did totally detached. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying about this cretin. And I'm hardcore on it because this don't make any sense. This man is supposed to be an NFL general manager who is totally disengaged from what's actually going on with the team, to the point where they fell on a 7-game losing streak. Where was he at when this was going on? Can anybody answer that question for me? The big question is, where the hell is Mickey Loomis at when the team's falling through the floor on a 7-game losing streak, when it took Gail to get this dude out of town? Last week, when they did this weekly interview, and notice it's not Bobby Hebert asking the questions. It's the second straight week he got the softballer Mike Hoss asking him the questions. Usually Bobby Hebert is the one interviewing. Why Bobby Hebert is not there? Because Bobby Hebert was asking the questions that the family members wanted to know, and he would say, because Bobby Hebert knows the guy's petty, that, hey man, the Who Dat Nation wants to know, or they say this, saying it, that ain't me, but that obviously wasn't good enough. He got Hoss asking him the question. This dude, man, detached, coward, chicken shit. It really is, man. I'm sorry to keep it. I'm just, because I don't want somebody like this sitting on top of this team, bro. We're not gonna get nowhere with this type of dude here. A change has to happen from the general manager position. Your cap is screwed up. The guy's too dumb to know what a bad coach is, and he's still Jazzy Jeffing for him, still Flavor Flavin for him. Dennis Allen is Chuck D back there. I got a letter from the government the other day, and then he go Mickey Loomis dancing for, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Dennis Allen is a great coach. Let me tell you something. I know Dennis Allen. Yeah, don't believe the hype. He's a great coach. This idiot, this moron here. This is crazy. That's why it's people right now don't trust this guy. I've done the polls. I've done the research. I've asked Who Dat Nation. They don't trust him. You really think if they can acquire draft picks, they got 3 extra draft picks for Marshon Lattimore, which Loomis was trying to get rid of last year. Do you really believe the Saints are going to do something with this guy sitting on top of the team? With all the picks that they just screwed up over the last several years, they can't even draft a defensive end and get it right. They took Davenport, bust. They took Peyton Turner, bust. They got Foskey sitting on the train. He's on the bus train to nowhere. And it took Carl Granderson, an undrafted guy, to take the other position. Where's the other guy going to come from to represent the defensive end? They took several defensive ends and they didn't even pan out. What are we doing here? We was trying to take your boy from Ponchatoula, the running back that Tennessee picks up. They worried about injuries. They went and draft your boy from TCU, and that's all they dealing with. But you knew that because we scouted them and they say, hey man, that was something that was on his resume. They knew about the injuries and they still drafted him. Now they sit up here and play around and say, oh, well, we get hurt all the time. You knew that when you took him. See, that's the game, man. They just don't anticipate you having a memory.
So I wish him, nothing but the best. I really do. It was just,
you don't believe it, brother.
It was just that, ultimately it came down to a deal that I thought was, good for us, good value for us. And that's why we did it.
And as what always seems to be the case, you'll see him. He comes to town on December 15th when the Commanders come to town. Talk about what the Saints get in return. If I'm correct, you get Washington's 3rd, Washington's 4th, and you get back Washington's 6th that you traded away for John Ridgway. So as it stands right now, you have a 1, 2, 2 3s, 2 4s, and 2 6s. You gave away a 5th round in the Lattimore deal as well. Is that correct?
Yep, that's it. 3rd round pick, swap of 4th and 5th is the way to look at it. We get our 6th back. So we're adding picks in the draft, and we're moving up in the draft is kind of the way I look at it. And that gives us a good amount of picks in this next year's draft.
So it's a brutal business. We've talked about it before. Well, it just is what it is. If you don't think it is, go look at any NFL assistant coach's resume, and you'll see probably 15 to 20 stops. And that's a family man trying to do things. And yesterday, after the loss on Sunday to Carolina, releasing.
Bro, what is you talking about, man? Just ask the questions. This dude always with this crap, with trying to set the question up for he just asks the questions. This dude is such a soft shoer, such a BS. Oh, you're so tough around the NFL. Man, shut up. We don't care about that. Don't get in the NFL if it's too tough. Oh, you're so tough. It's just a family man trying to make a business. You're just trying to make some money. Like, what? No, we don't care. I'm serious, dude. Man, listen, man. I'm all about football, but I don't like the sauce. That's why he gets this guy to ask the question. This guy, he'll be soft shooting.
It just is what it is. If you don't think it is, go look at any NFL assistant coach's resume, and you'll see probably 15 to 20 stops, and that's a family man trying
15 to 20 stops on it. Man, shut up.
Trying to do things. And yesterday, after the loss on Sunday to Carolina, releasing Coach Allen, I know it was a tough day in the building. It is what it is, right? It's
this dude fumbling, bumbling.
It's the
bro. Ask the question.
Ability to stop the bleeding, to turn things around.
Yeah. Look,
I don't know what question he even asked. I'm sorry. What did he ask him? What did he ask him? Bro, what's wrong with these guys? This is why he didn't want Bobby Abe to answer him the question. He want fumbling, bumbling, soft-shoeing ass Mike Hoss to ask the question. It's a funny look at the assistant coaches, 10 to 20 scotch on their resume. You know, that's just a hardcore business. What that got to do with anything? What are you talking about? What is the question? It wasn't even a question. Why? He just
Coach Allen, I know it was a tough day in the building. It is what it is, right? It's the inability to stop the bleeding, to turn things around.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was I don't know what he said. Just the inability to stop the bleeding.
Look, Dennis Allen, I think, is a fantastic football coach, and I think anybody in our league who would talk about him thinks he's a fantastic football coach. He is.
He's not a fantastic football coach, Flavor Flav Mickey.
I think in this case, look, the circumstances.
What circumstances?
Created the record. That's just
what circumstances, Loomis?
The truth, and a lot of people don't want to hear it. I mean, we get silly things written like.
See this bastard? You see, he gonna start attacking the reporters. Boy, I tell you, man, this dude here, or silly stuff, this silly stuff wrote about. This guy's mentally ill, fam. This is a mentally ill dude here, because you don't then distract off or misdirect off into reporters who are doing their jobs. So Dennis Allen, like Soft Shoe Mike was saying, that it's a tough business, and you check the stats with 15 people. They got 15, 20 stops on their resume. You can't stop the bleeding. And then he goes in, misdirects into disrespecting the reporters. He goes in right into disrespecting the reporters. Disrespecting the reporters about silly things, right? You see this smug Dollar Tree, Dollar General ass elitist because he's an employee. I don't care if he's in a will or not. This is still somebody's employee. He don't have his own business. He works for somebody else. So I don't understand how you can be this smug and you hadn't done anything on your own. Everything you did was because of Sean Payton. And that is so obviously clear because you can't even pick a decent coach. You can't, with all of the crap, you can't even draft right. You can't even trade right. The team is a joke. There's $60+ million in the red for next year. They got to work back out of the 60 million just to get money to sign free agents. And this smug bastard sitting up here trying to tell the reporters that they're writing something silly, and he's the reason why the silliness is happening. They're writing off of your product. So how could you still sit up here with this smugness, this elite dollar general ass elite mentality that you have? Gail don't even talk like that. She worth $5+ billion. And you never hear her talking a smug. How is this prick being this smug right here? At least these reporters here. Well, you know, they're writing silly stuff. They're, oh, hold on now. They're, I'll tell you, they're silly. You're not qualified. You're silly. This dude is this dude is mentally ill, man. It doesn't make any sense. Red Eye says you're the only one telling the truth about Loomis. Not it. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for that.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
They listening. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you, bro. But you know, I think I hit Mickey Loomis harder than most people do. Because I don't care. I'm tired of it, man. I'm sick of it. I hit Loomis. I tell the truth about this team. This dude is mentally ill. There is no rationale logically why you can sit up here and justify this kind of level of dysfunction in terms of wins and loses. This is the NFL, man. This is the NFL. There is no place for that smugness to be up here and you ain't winning shit. How could this dude be so smug and he ain't winning shit? He ain't won shit in 3 years. But he's sitting up here smug. Gail and none of them people show that type of energy. Gail is so gracious. Even though they lose, she get out there, she's smiling, she gracious. But this dude sitting up here smug like he done something. This dude act like he Ozzie flipping Newsome or somebody. This dude acts like he's Ozzie Newsome or somebody. This dude don't know how to trade. He can't work contracts together. He kick money down the road. The closest thing I compare this guy to is Jake Greasy Thumb Gusick. That's the old prohibition mobster that used to work with Al Capone and them boys back in the day. And Greasy Thumb Gusick would make you make you a set of books to fool the people coming when they want to look at what you got going on. Greasy Thumb will put a book together for you that'll fool them and make it look like you own a chain of laundromats where you can funnel all your money from the houses and all this kind of stuff. Greasy Thumb will do it for you. That's who this clown is. There's no reason for the smugness. He goes right from talking about his failures to attacking the reporters.
The players aren't parking in the right spots. I mean, that's ridiculous. Players have been parking out there for the last 15.
Why would you even mention that? Who cares about where they're talking about? But he reading all of them to decipher through this menial stuff to throw this out. None of that makes sense. That's not why people are upset. Hey. You're under a 7-game slide. You hadn't been in the playoffs in 3 years. You're under a 3-game slide, bro. What are you talking about worrying about parking and then attacks the reporters? What about your guy, Mickey? Huh? What about your guy, Mickey? What about Dennis Allen? Oh, he's still a great coach. He's not a great coach. You're a moron, a simpleton, a chump, an idiot. That's what you are. Nobody's sitting up here talking about Dennis Allen is a good head coach. He's not. He's trash. He's filth. He's garbage. Now, I'm sorry to sound like that. He got a family, Q. I don't give a damn. I got one too, so we twins. So what the hell are you talking about? You got kids, I got kids. But I bet you I can do a goddamn back and be more consistent on what I do than some guy walking around the building with that possum face, lying and stabbing his people in the back. Stabbing his people. Poor Spencer Rattler, a rookie who has to deal with BS. I pinpointed and said, "Oh, man, this dude is off code. This dumb Loomis don't even understand what an off code coach is and how he's destroying his own team." Every time Derek Carr is healthy, Spencer Rattler's the third stringer, but when Carr gets hurt, Spencer Rattler's the starter. What? It's amazing, man.
The eighth going into this last game, we were the eighth fewest penalties in the league. That's more of a comment on discipline than where a player parks, for crying out loud.
This dude is crazy, man. He's going to talk about discipline when your team is falling through the floor. You're on a 7-game slide. This guy's a moron, man.
But it just gets right back to, what stares at you right in the face is that we've had an abnormal amount of injuries, including to our quarterback. And
he ain't a real general manager, fam. He had 3 ways to improve the team while injuries was hitting the team. You had practice squads you could pilfer off for talent from. You had trade areas where you could be able to move around and make trades. And you also have free agency. You have 3 ways to improve your team. How I know that? Because teams are doing those same things right now while he's sitting up here complaining about injuries. Everybody has injuries. Kansas City had injuries. Did that stop them from winning? Did it stop them from making trades to get better wide receivers and get other playmakers on defense? No, it didn't. For teams that want to improve, to get better, they make the moves necessary to improve upon the team. This happens every year. This ain't nothing new. Injuries are a part of the game. They happen every damn year. You might get some more, you might get them less, but at the same time, the principles never change. You as a general manager are supposed to general manage some shit. And you're supposed to get up off your ass. And a lot of the players say Mickey Loomis don't even talk to them. I keep asking the question, where was Mickey Loomis at when the team was falling through the floor? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7-game losing streak. Where was he at? Where was he at when all this was going on? And players told Gail Benson that this was urgent and change needed to happen. He's sitting up there telling Gail that it's just the injuries and we're going to get some players back and everything's going to be here. They're going to get the players back. 2 weeks ago, the Saints got a lot of the players back and they still was losing. And he gonna talk about what's staring somebody in the face. See, we don't need this, man.
We haven't been able to overcome that, and so that puts pressure and stress on the organization. And
that's your job.
Ultimately, it was cause for a change.
Yesterday was a lot about really kind of Darren Rizzi, but we weren't able to talk to you. Did you address the team at all yesterday, or was it just Darren?
No, just Darren.
You didn't address the team. He didn't when it happened. He didn't address the team. This guy is not a general manager. He's not a general manager. He doesn't do what a general manager is supposed to do. He didn't even address the team. That's why the reporter called him, said that it was cowardly. You can sit up here and berate these reporters and tell them that the articles are silly, but when it's time for you to stand for a full account on what's you picked this goddamn guy and put him here, you can't stand up there and talk about this. We don't need this, man.
He did a great job. We talked about what his message would be beforehand, and I thought it was well received. And look, anytime that you have, a change in the middle of the season, you're going to have, some emotion involved with that. And hopefully that emotion creates a little positive bump. And I felt like, that happened yesterday is that I thought Rizzi did a great job talking with the team, talking with the media, describing some things that we wanted to do differently. Just to hopefully jumpstart, the back half of the season.
All this is his fault. All this is fault. He waited too long to make the call that Gail had to step in. It's definitely in need. The organization is not going anywhere as long as this guy is on top of it. He's not. He's holding the general manager title and not operating as a general manager. He's holding the title and subbing out the job to several different people that's on the team. This guy is not a general manager. He doesn't talk to the players. James Hurst said it on the broadcast the other day when he said that Mickey Loomis came out to talk to him at the end of last season after what happened with Dennis Allen in that Atlanta game, and he thought that they would relieve him of his duties. I thought they was going to fire Dennis Allen after not making the playoffs. Instead, he gave him a strong vote of confidence. And remember, that's the year when he went out there talking about, well, everybody's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. That's BS. He told them people that these players don't respect no Mickey Loomis because he don't even go and talk to them, man. If there's a problem with the head coach, where do the players go? That was the same question I asked when that happened to Jameis Winston, when Jameis Winston was upset about Dennis Allen lying to him and telling him, hey, man, When you get healthy, you can come on back, get your position back, and all this kind of stuff. When James got healthy enough to play, he never played again. Not that year. So I mean, it was more of the same. He never got checked on none of his behaviors. And Mickey Loomis sits up here and he allows it to happen. He is not a general manager. He doesn't manage anything. He didn't stop the slide when he had the chance when the team was falling. He didn't go and talk to nobody. He didn't do anything. So as far as I'm concerned, Dennis Allen is gone, but that's I told y'all, it's in stages. You get one guy out, and the big problem is him. You really think the Saints are going to have success with Mickey Loomis running the team? He doesn't have any vision. He doesn't know what he's doing. That has to change, man. That has to change. He cannot be on top of this team, and he doesn't have any vision. He doesn't have any vision at all, man.
Because of his background, he was an associate head coach at Miami and the assistant head coach here. He deals with all of the players. I hate to say logical choice, but was he kind of the guy that because of his relationship with the entire team?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it. He is assistant head coach. That's part of his role. So he's been involved in a number of those decisions that the head coach makes. I think he's a pretty obvious choice, given his experience, his role as a special teams coach, which you just described. You do deal with almost every player on the team when you're in that role. So it's a voice that our players have heard before. He's used to being up in front of a large group of players and presenting and look, he's got a great personality and a great positive attitude at all times. And look, he was a candidate. When we hired Dennis Allen, he was one of the candidates and had really strong performance in his interviews. So I think it was an obvious choice.
It's funny you said the players are used to the voice of Darren Rizzi. He screams, but
you cited it. Rizzi's always got this effervescent personality. He's got kind of this fighter mentality, and you feel that even when you're just talking in a regular conversation with him.
Do anybody out there? What do you guys think about this whole situation? That's enough. I don't want to hear anymore. I'm done. I'm done listening to that. I'm done with that dude. It just sickens me to hear his voice. I thought I can be able to stomach it to listen to it, but he's not really saying anything because he don't have a plan. He don't know what he's doing. Because I don't want to hear what he's saying. Let me ask you guys something. Let's talk to somebody that got some sense, that understand what vision is. Let me ask you guys a question out here. What do you think happens with the New Orleans Saints going through? We got 8 games left in the season. What do you guys think will happen here? What do you guys think the outcome will be with the interim coach Darren Rizzi, the team currently constructed? Do you think that this will lead to a successful outcome? Do you guys believe that the Saints will make the playoffs? Please put that in the chat. Let me know what you believe. Let me know what you think about that. In your estimation, where do you think with 8 games, I think it's 8 games left, 9 weeks, 8 games left, something like that. What do you guys think about this? Do you think that the Saints will win enough games to make it to playoffs? Do you think that? Let me simplify it a bit. Do you think the Saints beat the Falcons this week? Good. Let's just start right there. Let's take it one game at a time. Do you guys think, and y'all please feel free to answer this question. We got 180 plus in the building. Please answer this question. Where do you guys think the Saints are? Do you think we beat the Falcons in this upcoming week? Let's start there. Do we beat the Falcons in y'all estimation? Please put it in the chat. Answer my question. Do we beat the Falcons this week? Do we beat the Falcons? Y'all put that in the chat. Let me know. Because I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you. This is a tough order to have, to be able to come back and win so many games, because you lose 7 in a row. You have to then win 7 in a row to kind of knock out this thing. And there are games where they're going to be difficult games. One of the more difficult games the Saints are going to face is this week against the Falcons. Do we beat the Falcons? And do that takes us to higher pastures with with Rizzi as the coach. What do you think? Gary says absolutely not. No, says New Orleans. Student says hopefully. T Mama says one game at a time. Bullet Family Travel Vlog says hell no, maybe 3 wins. King Chosen One says no. Be Kind. What's up, Be Kind? Says no way. Hemisphere says I think for this week they may win Sunday. They will be more motivated. Okay. Tote says hell no, the Saints aren't beating the Falcons. T Mama says they might sweep us. Q. KKKK says yes. Okay. St. Doug says Loomis sounds like a shiesty car. So I had to get him out of here, man. He sickens me, man. His voice, even though I do his voice well, he's just an excuse maker, man. And I can't stand excuse makers. Just do the job right, man. If you don't know how to do it, just admit to it and fix it. As long as you're not being accountable, things won't change unless you take responsibility for what happened. They won't change. Gerard says nah. L-Dub says it's in Tom Benson. It's in Tom Benson. Will that team is to remain in New Orleans, even if it's sold to someone else? KR says yes. Ty said, I think it's crazy how they trying to act like they were sad when Dennis Allen got fired. Yeah, well, you got to ask your boy Carr because he flipped the switch. He was all, all this kind of stuff. And then, Michael says no. All of our wide receivers and DBs are hurt. All right. He says it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Eli Manning, Leeds Giant wasn't supposed to make the playoffs and ended up winning the Super Bowl. So I guess that's a yes. Brother Devon says Falcons smelling blood this week. No doubt about it. Brother Duke says not with Carr. I say Arvin says we are going to beat Atlanta. Atlanta is frauds, and the Saints are going to pull an upset somehow. And then they will beat Jameis and the Browns. That will put us at 4-7. Okay. All right, Arvin. I hope you're right, man. All right. Hemisphere says they said then realize Carr is there. No Falcons about to sweep the Saints. Oh, yeah. John says no. Nope, says Doug. Kendall says yes. I'm still iffy on the Falcons. Saints win. English, what's up? Say, I can't see it. Q Falcons are starting to jail. Plus, we have Carr. So, no. Rex says we just lost to the worst team in the NFL, and now we're the worst team in the NFL. Okay, there you go. Rex says we'll lose. Vibin says, nah, it's over. I think we beat the Falcons. I'm being honest. All hands on deck. All right. All right. Well, yeah. Christian says members of y'all team said beat us will start the redemption, but that was before Loomis gave Lattimore the boot. All right. Thank you, Christy. Brother Larry, shout out to you, bro. Says close game, Q. We win with special teams. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Who else? Mad Drummer says, do you think Gail will either let Loomis or demote him or change his position? Something's going to happen, bro. Something's going to happen here. And I'm just being honest with you guys. Something is actually going to happen here because of the way how the firing happened. It wasn't Mickey Loomis. He was sitting on his ass, letting it happen. He was going to give him another week on. That dude is crazy. Gail got involved and said enough is enough because she went and talked to the players. And it's a pecking order here. Usually she'll go down and talk to the guy next to her and then the guy there and then the guy there. Remember what Gail did, fam. Remember what Gail did. Y'all remember what Gail did? Gail actually, what she did was she went directly to the players. And the players told her, not only is this bad, but a change needs to happen urgently. And then she fired that guy. But the thing is, she went past Mickey Loomis to do it. She went and did it, something that he was supposed to do. And that showed a flawed judgment there. When she's seen the differences between what he was saying, because he told you and me what he told her on the last week's broadcast when they asked about what does Gail Benson think. He said what he said, and it was totally different than what she got from the players, according to what's out there. So that's a breakage right there in trust to a degree that I'm trusting you to run the team. And then you this negligent. You got your door closed over here. What are we doing here? Standing up there trying to berate some reporters, man, because they're reporting on the mess and the trash that the Saints currently are. He don't like people smashing down on him because of the bad decisions that he making. Well, too goddamn bad. I have yet to begin to get real rough because I'm about to really start getting rough in a little bit. I'm gonna just ratchet it up. But yeah, I anticipate a change will happen in the upper areas of the organization, no doubt about it, because the Saints, this was supposed to be a year, according to what they were saying, that was supposed to end up in the playoff year in which the Saints break the slide. But they can end up being worse than we've seen them be in a very long time, which should spur change at the top. Because what he was telling her and what she went and found out for the players was two radically different things. So yeah, I expect something to happen in the upper echelon because you attach your little red wagon to Dennis Allen, you going down with him. I don't expect that fool to lose his job in terms of being the vice president because he has job security because he's a VP. That's why he's so smug like that. The VP is the guy that's supposed to be checking the general manager. Isn't it coincidental that he's both the people? He's his own boss for the general manager position, and Dennis Lauscher is supposed to be checking for him, and Dennis Lauscher ain't doing shit. Where's Dennis Lauscher at in this whole matrix? I'm just asking questions. This is a pecking order of the Saints team. You got Gail up here. You got Lauscher here. Then you got Loomis here. Then you got Dennis Allen here. Whereas before Gail gets around two levels of people to get here to fire this guy, where's Lauscher and where's Loomis at? She got paying these freaking guys, man. She paying them. Where's Lauscher at with all of this? I ain't gonna forget him now. Where the hell is he at in this whole thing? Not doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. I've been saying, these guys are not qualified for these jobs they're holding. Dennis Lauscher is not a president of football operations on the field. He's a businessman. He's a treasurer. You need to equip him with the title and remove all business dealings in terms of dealing with football on the field out of his circumference. He doesn't need to have the football operations title, president of that. That's Mickey Loomis's boss. Where was he at? Did he get on Loomis for all this smug bullshit that he doing? He don't do nothing. He don't say nothing, man. That's not accountability. It took Gail to go 2 levels down, 3 levels down, actually, to get to the Dennis Allen and put him in the street. And you got 2 people that's sitting there supposed to be doing it for. What we paying you for if you can't even do that? The team's sliding, man. It's falling apart. The locker room busted and disjointed. And none of them say nothing. See, I'm putting them all on blast. We know Gail, at least Gail went and did some research, which shows that she wasn't trusting what any of them guys were saying. She went right to the players. Hopefully that begins a pipeline where she knows what time it is by listening to the players, because Mickey was lying and telling her something totally else so he can keep Dennis Allen here. This guy is crazy, man. He's crazy. He's a moron. A lot of people say it's rebuild time. Debbie says yes. Gary says we maybe beat the Raiders and the Giants. Jack says not enough talent on this team. Hell no. Thank you, Rich. Boys, his car been exposed as being trash by Mike. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
I think Carr is in trouble, man, to be honest with you, man. And it's just he came down here for a payday. The team was supposed to be a team that competes for playoffs. Yeah, they're dealing with issues and injuries, but Carr in this new system, if the play action ain't there for him where they can get into the throwdown field, he's going to struggle because he's not a terrific decision-making guy because he don't go through his progressions all the time. That's what pisses me off about the film on Derek Carr. Like the dude, he always is stuck. He's always stuck on the side of the field, whether it's left or right. It's too much times like the 3 series we've seen last week. The first 3 series of the matchup against the Carolina Panthers. If you can go back and watch the all 22, go look at our Patreon special. We pinpoint him staring down the one side of the field and they got other options at the other. He just freezes and stays locked in on one side of the field. Then the ball was everywhere. It's like every 3 of the first possessions, the Saints would run and get the ball down into the scoring area. And then they would then vacate from running the ball to throwing the ball. And then he threw 3 incompletions each time down. If you look at the tape, you see that he gets frozen on one side of the field and would just stare down guys and try to fit the ball and double team like he tried to throw it to Foster Monroe and threw a bad pass into the ground. Foster was trying to slide for it. He threw the ball in the ground before Foster. Or the third play where he was on the 3rd down and they had a little pressure in his face. The guy picked up Jordan Mims picked up the blitzing linebacker, and he was so scary that he tried to throw. He leaped back on one foot and tried to throw the ball to Alvin Kamara. And Kamara was running down. If he'd have put the ball on Alvin Kamara, that'd have been the first down. But he threw it at his feet on a third down. And I was like, man, this ain't gonna cut it, man. And then all this crap about I love everybody, man. Nah, I don't want to hear that. All that comes through is phony, man, because you're not doing your job. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're making way too much money, and people are not playing that. You make it too much money, and you talk too much. You don't do enough. That's why people be getting on this guy. He talk too much and he don't do enough. His talk is not walking. He's not walking his talk. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He missed all that time and all that stuff Clint Kubiak worked with him on. He then goes out there, forgets it, and starts staring down one side of the field. He always is staring down stuff. I'm tired of watching that bad tape with him staring down people. That's all he does is get out there and stare those guys down. And you look at the tape, and I don't understand how you, the dude just, I don't know, he might be crazy too. Because how could you look at the tape and not see that you staring people down and say, you know what, I got to stop staring people down. But that's too late for that. It's 11 years of staring people down. You can't get out there and stare guys down. You can't do that. That's why a lot of these people were mad at him about that Chris Olave play. Because he wasn't, if he would have pump faked the goddamn ball, it would have froze the safety, then make the throw. But he ain't, that play, he stared the guy down. So I'm like, man, this guy, man, bro, you make, you know what? Man, oh man. $150 million for a repetitive stare down and ass quarterback. It's just, I hate to watch the film because this is what he does. Stare people down all the time. And before we even get into the stuff about Mike Thomas, I'm just tired of him staring people down on tape. Can you get this guy to go through his progressions every time? Why do we always have to sit up here and watch this guy stare people down? And then it got so bad, the Saints took the ball out of his hands and gave it to Taysom Hill. They took him off the field and put Taysom Hill in the game because he couldn't convert on the third down. The two plays the Saints had, if we scored a touchdown or either one of the first or the second or the third possession, they would have won the game. But those third down conversions wasn't converted because of poor passes. Go look at the film. Man, I'm so fed up with these people, man. I really am, man. It's too late in the season to be dealing with staring down and these non-fundamental issues. It's too late in the season for this, man. We're supposed to be beyond this. Ram says, Q, I think we will lose to Atlanta. We need to send a petition to Gail to get rid of Mickey and promote Kai Hartley. I think that's a good idea. We need somebody else except for him. He cannot be the general manager going into the future. There is no future with him because he has no vision. That's the problem. If you can't see your funk and your stanky, nasty, filthy hiring of Dennis Allen has crippled the Saints in your bad decision making to allow him to destroy the team, and then him doing all these crazy contracts that have backloaded the Saints' money where they can't even be competitive over the next couple of years, and then sit up here berating the reporters about writing about a parking space. The guy's out of his mind, man. Dr. Key says 50-50 chance Q. I'll bring Mickey to my office. Yeah, Dr. Key. Man, tell me, Dr. Key, you hearing what he's saying? What is that? Is that you hear it? That's like mental illness, man. That dude's mentally ill, man. Well, you know, the facts in front of your face. What the facts? Your 7-game losing streak. We're hamstrung with money. We got an interim head coach right now because you didn't do your job properly. If we'd have fired his asshole last year when he threw his team under the bus, we might have a chance this year. Man, like I said, man, I'm so disgusted with these people, man. And I'm so disgusted with these people. I'm sorry, fam. I really am, man. I am so disgusted with these people. I really am just disgusted with this Mickey Loomis chump. I really am. Leon, thank you. Bram says Loomis is like a cat on the hot tin roof. He's gone. Yeah, he's out of his mind. Thank you. Fuck too kind. Appreciate you, bro, for being a member for 48 months. Much love to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. It is absolutely insane. I am so I'm sorry, family. I'm so frustrated with all of this, man. With this crap, man. I really am. I'm so sick of Mickey Loomis. I'm sick of the non accountability of what's happening with this team. I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick of these fake ass captains who's supposed to be all of these high morale people, but sit up on their ass and collected checks while the Saints fell through the floor. I'm so tired of it. I'm sick of it. All these people supposed to be players with high morale sitting up there with their goddamn mouths quiet while the Saints on a 7-game losing streak. None of these guys, no Tyrann Mathieu, no Demario Davis, none of them guys opened their mouths up and went public and say, man, this is crazy. We need to do something about it. They sat there quiet as church mice while the Saints fell through the floor. I'm tired of these fakers, man. Sitting up here pretending, man, taking and collecting checks. I'm tired of these check collecting ass people that's not producing, man. They're not producing nothing. You got this bum ass general manager faker who's really a VP disguised as a general manager that's not involved in any daily activities. He's not doing any evaluations. He's not even checking the daily temperature of his team, but he's supposed to be the general manager of the team, making excuses for a fired, flimsy, garbage ass coach. It's insane. There is no prospects of greener pastures until there's a radical change on top of the organization because they lack vision. Mickey Loomis put all of his eggs in the basket of Dennis Allen, which was a bad bet. And he's too stupid and egotistical to even say, you know what? It was a bad hire. Since he won't say it, I'll say it for y'all. This is how it's supposed to sound. You know what, Q, hold on now. I'll tell you. You know what? You're right. You're right. Hold on now. It was a bad bet. Okay. Dennis Allen, I made a mistake. So I'll apologize to the Who Dat Nation. We're better. We're better than this, and I'm sorry. I was listening to and I was on his side, and I was eating some clam chowder, and I'm so sorry. I apologize to the Who Dat Nation, and I'm so sorry. That's all I could say. I just want you guys to understand. I'm sad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything that we've done. We've been through a lot together, and listen, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for Dennis Allen. I really am sorry for hiring Dennis Allen. I am. I was fooled. I think I was fooled. Sean Payton, he said that. He told me, and he tricked me, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the entire Who Dat Nation. I know I don't apologize enough, but I'm gonna say a song for you guys. I'm gonna sing a song for you guys. Okay? I'm gonna sing the sorry song. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whoa, 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 it's me. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, Who Dat Nation, accept my apologies. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. When I'm in the store, don't kick over my basket like that. Tramal, you didn't have to do that. You kicked over my basket. I was just buying some groceries. I don't understand. I'm old. Oh yeah, I play cards in the office with the door closed. I eat clam chowder, by myself.
I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, guys, you won. You told the truth. I listen. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry for Dennis Allen. He's still the greatest coach in the world, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Gil had to do my job. Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, you guys, you guys still are terribly unsophisticated, and you're still lazy and unsophisticated. I'm sorry though. You're still you're still not qualified. Tell me about my job. This smugness is just the act. Underneath all of this smugness, I tell you something. It's under all of my smugness, it's an old guy hurting underneath here. But let me tell you something. You guys are still unsophisticated. You're not qualified. And you still have to look beyond the results. God damn it. Now, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry you guys are unsophisticated.
All right, Mickey, that's enough of you, brother. That's enough, brother. Mickey ain't learned his. Mickey ain't learned his damn lesson, y'all. We just gonna have to let him go. That's the closest y'all ass gonna get to an apology, man. Just to let y'all know, that's the closest y'all ass is gonna get to apology. So don't ask for no. Yeah, no, you're not gonna get any apology. You're still lazy and unqualified, though. All right, thank you, brother Gerard. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
All right, man. See, I had to do all that, man. That's the closest y'all gonna get an apology from the New Orleans Saints organization, man. Then right there, that's pretty much how it should have went, but it's not, because Mickey Loomis is half crazy, full crazy. He's just insane, full blown insane. That's Mickey Loomis. All right. So anyway, man, listen, man, we're gonna get ready to get on up out of here, man, and finish watching the game here. I was checking out the Pels. Pels beating Cleveland 37-31. But listen, man, I like to tell all y'all, thank y'all, man, for being on the stream and letting me vent tonight, man, because boy, I'm really kind of upset about all this crap with Dennis Allen and well, I'm glad he's gone, but Mickey Loomis is just boy, he's a flat tire on the wheels. He is a flat tire on the car of success. And so we'll see how it all pans out, man, and what happened here. This is a tough week here because the Saints have to get ready for an Atlanta Falcon team, man, that's just leading the NFC South. Hopefully we can get it together. Coach Rizzi said he made some changes, man. Let's see what he can do. But anyway, with that being said, shout out to the sponsors of the show, Mint Mobile, for good phone service, man. Please feel free to check out Mint Mobile. Link is in the description section below. They got really great rates for people that want to save some money on their phone bills. Also, Teach Henley is a skincare product for the men. Also, you can get 20 to 40% off. Link is in the description section, and bet online. If you can't make money with the Saints, make money on the Saints, because they're going to make it on you, whether they win, lose, or draw. So I think I think it should be even, right? But anyway, with that being said, I appreciate all of y'all. Much love to y'all. I'll return on our Thursday stream to cover the latest injuries and all that kind of beautiful stuff and see what we got going on, man. So much love to y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Peace. And who that to you?
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that, where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a Falcon. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that?
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL to entertainment and political props. Head to Bet Online today and get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro